Phil Crowley, Forest Park Police Department here in Cincinnati, Ohio. We are basically a 38-man department. We are pretty busy. We take in a lot of property. Guns, money, drugs, the normal stuff, a lot of sexual assault kits. In the past, I've been here for 13 years. I was at another agency prior to this for 10 years. Have always been involved in the evidence, kind of crime scene evidence recovery thing. Recently, I'm been tasked to being in charge of the property room. There's a lot of changes that needed to take place. We were still using an old office style system where we had office shelving and we were putting bins like plastic tubs on there per officer and saying, hey, this officer recovered this property, so it would go in there. Made it tough to locate things. The purging process, trying to get rid of property under destruction. A lot of follow-up had to be done by the actual property room officer. The new system that we have now is working out great because now we know we have everything labeled. We have a roller system where we know that sexual assault kits are on this wall. All our stuff's classified and labeled per the type, based on the type of property that it is. We still have tons of room. We still have a lot of, it's kind of in progress still, but the way the system works is we have different property cell phones. We keep all our electronics in one area, so we know automatically when the officer says, hey, I need this for court. This can be destroyed or this can be released back to the owner. I know exactly which section I'm going to start looking. And we do have tracking software that takes care of all that. We do all our homicide stuff is designated to one area. And like I said, we do have room to grow. This room actually with the office style shelving was probably, we added at least more than double the amount of room we had. Before it was little aisleways walking through each, I mean it was pretty tough to find things. It kind of got unorganized very quickly. This system allows us to, like I said, to easily locate things. Another thing, this is all drug paraphernalia along this wall, which you can see we've got tons of room. We're just separating things and still in the process. Guns, money, and drugs is in a separate area, but just the whole system has allowed us to utilize, make the most of the space that we do have. And then we have different classifications of property through here, and you can see we still have plenty of room. Refrigerated, small stuff. We did do a pass-through. This room is more of found property, things that are easily probably going to be released within 30 days. Found property, safekeeping, things of that nature. This is the inside of the property room. Obviously there's another area, but this is a pass-through that the company had put in for us, and they designed this specifically for the opening and the size that we had based on the construction that was already here. But you can see the officer will actually, from the other side, puts his property in, locks the lock. We have refrigerated units for the stuff that needs to be refrigerated. And each locker is specific to the software and it's marked. So when the officer puts it in there, we know if there's something in there. We basically take it out, put it at its proper location. But ultimately, yes, this room, originally these were a combination of evidence processing, property room, you name it. We even had some stuff stored in here that didn't need to be in here. Gotcha. So just the room that was added, the amount of space going up to the ceiling has been totally changed our property room. So
what would you say you've gained in terms of this space? And
at least double, if not close to triple, the amount of space that we have, based on the height of these and the way putting that much property in and having the where you can move the shelves back and forth allows you to walk through the aisle, so you're cramming more in a smaller space. So yes, we got plenty of room to grow, which is great because we do take in a lot of property. This helps, like I'll say once again, our purging process is smooth now because we have things designated and can go right to it, know where it's at to get rid of it. Gordon's been great. He's been here from the beginning. We actually reached out to him based on another neighboring agency that had their system installed. Cincinnati Police, we went down there and took a visit with them. Gordon did the construction for them as well. So we kind of started from there. He came in and measured everything. He came back with the plans that were drawn up by one of the engineers, and we didn't fully understand. He told us, hey, this is going to add a ton of space. This will be great. But then once it started going in, we're like, holy, I mean, we've got a lot of room. So
Cool.
it worked out great. Yeah, the whole process. He's back again. He's come back to see as we've been going through the process of putting our property back in. So he's been pretty much with us the whole time.
Awesome. Any suggestions for somebody in your shoes who's getting ready to kind of redo their?
It's definitely worth it. Sometimes it's hard to find the money, but if you can, it's definitely the way to go. And the company's been great. We did make a couple changes kind of last minute at the recommendation of Gordon, so it's been pretty smooth all the way through. This is actually the processing. This is where the officers are going to come in when they first have their property. They'll come in and log on to the computer, they'll enter it into the system, choose the appropriate packaging, and we have some samples up here. We're still going through our training process. Once the officers have it, they'll assign it in the computer to a locker. So like this is pass-through locker number 7. This was a system Gordon he came up with, and this was the opening for this was already here. So they designed this based on what we already had in existence. So it worked out great. So the officer could have like 4 or 5 pieces of property. He can put them all in this locker because they're labeled. So when we pull them out as the property officers from the opposite side, we can put them on the appropriate shelves. So it's been working out great. This one's cold storage, which is kind of built in, so you can have multiple items. These lock individually, which makes it great. So you can have, if 3 officers have stuff that, for OBI specimens or assault kits of some sort with blood or something, there's 4 different areas they can lock that up in. And it's all refrigerated, electric plugged in on the opposite side, and we can monitor that, so it works out perfect. But yeah, he pretty much designed and put the table in for us too. So it's still kind of a work in progress, but it's working out great so far with the amount of storage that we've added.